indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, thank you. Our meeting is called to order. Jefferson County Local Development Corporation, monthly board meeting, November 6, 2025. Privilege of the floor, then I'll turn it over to the CEO for an announcement introduction. No privilege, because I don't think we have guests, actually. That never prevented anyone from talking. Jay, you'll get your chance.
Oh, now you're threatening us.
Well, I've got a timer. Go ahead, Marsh.
Well, I would like to take a moment to welcome Dorina Kimball to our organization here. She has a lot of experience with county business, longtime deputy treasurer for Jefferson County, and we are overjoyed to have her here and ready to step into Lyle's shoes at the end of the year. And thank you very much. Glad that you applied.
Thank you.
We're glad that you're here, and
I'm here as well.
looking forward to it.
God
Looking
bless you.
forward to it.
Well,
We'll be
welcome
fine.
aboard. And hopefully you share the same enthusiasm Marshall has for the next week.
Yeah, no worries, no worries.
All right, so having said that, our minutes are on page 3. They've been received and reviewed, and if so, a motion to accept, please. I heard a first, a second. Any further discussion, modifications? All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any abstentions or no's? Okay, all, the motion carries. Treasurer's report, page 5, Paul.
Yes.
Okay, Dorina, here we go.
Okay. No worries.
Well, there's really not much major things to point out. We did finally, if you remember several months ago, we agreed we were going to transfer or lend to the IDA. I think it's $1.5 million was moved in as a loan to the IDA. That occurred. That'll show on your, if you look at the month-to-month balance sheet, you'll see a big drop in the RLF savings. Down in the bottom of page 5, you can see revenues over expenses. Right now, we're a little 47 under. Some of the big changes there is we over budgeted for the grants federal, but that's in and out, so it really doesn't have much of an impact. So other than that, unless there's questions, everything looked in order with expectations. There may be one item on page, there was the drum country showed up in the ag program.
Yeah.
On page 6. It may move to a different line.
It will.
I was looking at where we were in negatives, and that was an expense this month, and it was a drum country expense, but it showed up under ag business attraction. And maybe it should be moved from there. But other than that, that's it.
Motion to accept the report.
So moved.
Was that a motion? Do we have a first?
Second.
Who was the first?
Was it John or Ed?
John.
I heard a mumble over this.
John?
No, it wasn't super loud. It just wasn't as loud as normal. So I wasn't sure.
I need another cup of coffee.
Well, when you're on this side of the table, the voice inflection doesn't kind of make it over here super well.
Kind of throw it.
And then I think Bill or Paul were tied.
Yeah, I got
So
the
you-
second.
You can choose. I have a question on the grant federal income. I noticed the expenses are greater than the revenue, so is it just lagging and because it should be an in and out, it should be a zero-sum game. We spent 137, but we booked 89, I think, in revenue.
Yeah, it's in and out.
Or do I have it backwards? Yeah, so year to date, we've spent 89. We've booked 89,000 in revenue, but we've spent 137. So it seems like there should be $50,000 showing up in the top line somewhere
Where are you looking, Ron?
on the balance sheet.
Oh, I was
The
looking.
income statement, excuse me. So if you look at the revenue grant income, we've reported 89,384 year to date, but we spent 137.
Okay.
And it should be zero. I would think it would zero itself out. or we just haven't moved something to the top line yet? I guess it's your homework for the day.
Yeah.
Yeah. Has it not?
It
been
should be
done?
zero, right?
Yeah,
Marshall, some of
the
these-
grants are usually in and out.
So maybe
Yeah.
we found $50,000 of revenue that we booked yet. It could just be lagging,
Yeah, it could be, 'cause-
but I would think if it hit the cost side, you would know enough to put it in the revenue side. I don't know. I'm not an accountant.
We'll check with Lyle.
well, yeah,
Yeah.
we'll
Yeah,
double
we'll
check.
check. I'll find
Okay.
out.
That was just something. I
You only
noticed.
got 2 more months to blame Lyle.
Yeah, 'cause
Any other discussion or questions? Okay, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstaining? The motion carries, so we're on committee reports. Jay, start with you.
All right, well, good morning, and it's great to have Dorina on board. She's been putting up with all of us so far, and she brought donuts. So she's off to a good start. Although I haven't seen another dozen donuts come in since the first dozen, so might be an issue, Dorina.
I know, I gotta get on top.
Yeah, but Dorina volunteered to help on the Dairy Parade Committee, so she's got a lot of, she's building up a lot of credits already, so that's a good thing. So my report, Southern Dairy, we continue to work with Southern Dairy. As you may know, they have been here twice, once in September, once in October, with a large contingent of people to work with the consultant group, Mike Lundy, Corey Lawler's group, to continue on the site planning process. And as you know, that project has moved from the Massey Street site over to the old Rome State Road site. So the primary reason for Massey Street was rail, and they found out that the rail would not work the way they wanted it to. So then the old Rome State Road site became their favored site. So they're continuing to work on that. They've had a lot of people in and out of the county twice now to work on their project. So slow but steady, hopefully. CWT, where you've been in contact with CWT, talking to them about the success of their facility. They're pretty excited with how it's been going. So that was good news. They actually have exceeded their production expectations by far. So we're hoping we might see something out of them, but we won't get too far ahead of that. National Grid has a new economic development representative for the area. And Marshall and Robin and I have a meeting set up to meet with him. There are a couple projects that were Brian Anderson. And if you'd like, I can, if it's all right with the boss, I can invite you to our meeting. It'll be coming up November 18th, I believe it is. But there was a couple projects that had been left on the table through the previous economic development person. And so we're working with Brian to help clear up some of the confusion on, where those projects are at. Some of them did not involve us. And so we're trying to help get answers for Brian. One of them is a dairy farm project in particular. So I've been in contact with the farm, seeing where they're at with the project that they wanted to do.
Jay, on that issue, driving in here today, monitoring Coffeen Street and the power project on my end of the county, we're excited about bringing a $250 million dairy processing plant here.
Hopefully.
My evaluation and ballpark figures, there's been over $300 million spent in this county on transmission lines this summer on the new substations.
Yep.
So under economic development, it's like, will somebody explain to me what their plan is for this $300 million build out? What's the rationale? What's the opportunity behind it all? I've talked with Marshall.
Yeah.
If this guy in National Grid can do an overview of what that's doing for economic development for the county, it's like I'm all for it, but I'd say bring him in and have him do a presentation to the board for 20 minutes or a half an hour.
Yeah, I mean,
It might also just be upgrading infrastructure.
It's
Remember, everything
far
that's here is
more-
50
far more
years
than
old or
upgrades.
longer.
No, it's far
It's from
more than
Edison's
upgrades.
days, for God's sakes.
It's far more than upgrades.
Well,
The
I'm
new
just,
substation out by you is.
We can, I'm pretty sure we
Yeah.
could probably get either Brian or Logan Eddy or someone to come in and speak to the board about that, because you're right.
Yeah.
There's,
It's staggering, the
It-
money that's being
it
spent.
creates more opportunity
Exactly.
for the county, because one of our barriers we've talked about every year has been, the electrical infrastructure and the quality of that electrical infrastructure. So everything we're seeing is positive for the future. It's an opportunity for the future and a tool that we can use to try and attract more business into the county. So
I'm hoping he's got the knowledge base to see how it's tying to Drum's mission as well.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Drum's mission, agriculture's mission, everybody's mission. It's significant for all of us. So then we're also working on planning. Rob has been involved, planning the Grow with Jefferson County Conference. I've sort of changed the name of it, so don't know that that's set in stone yet with the committee, but
Yeah, but
better than
I
what
wouldn't
we-
do too much of a deep dive on that. We could do that for days. So, yeah, I think it sounds great.
Yeah, so we're working on that. One of the topics we're talking about is, AI and its impact on agriculture and the economy. So that might be part of the program for that. We also had a dairy parade planning meeting yesterday. We're excited. The committee was together. A lot of work to do, and so things are going well. Very busy, and lots of opportunity on the horizon. So that's it.
thanks.
Jay,
Any questions? Southern
I had a
Dairy?
question for Jay. Is Brian the one that spoke at Rotary? Or from National Grid? Or was that a different
No,
person?
no, it's
Okay,
a different person.
okay.
Bill, you had a question?
Southern Dairy in their contact with the ISO, have they made contact? Where is that going? That seemed to be like one of the biggest obstacles.
Sure. There have been conversations, talked with Owen yesterday, and that is on their radar screen as something they need to get done right away. I don't want to say too much here, but be happy to answer any questions you might have in my office.
Are they still pursuing a net carbon neutral for their build out?
I can't say that they are or are not.
Well, that was one of the things initially they were after.
I could say that is one of their goals
Yeah.
still.
Yeah, that's one of their goals.
But whether or not how it kicks off that way, will be wait to see.
I see Mike Lundy is in the ag parks applied for a permit on lot 6. Do you know what that is? It's not, we don't have any issues with it, but I just wondered, is it a further expansion, new business, or?
I'm not aware of what it is,
Okay.
but I'll find out.
I also see they were on the agenda for that.
In the
shell
ag, in the ag park?
Yeah, there was one for the ag park and one for the shell building issue we've talked about briefly in the IDA park.
Yeah.
So I
Don't
just
really
didn't know
have
if you
any
knew,
update that.
because I've heard rumors that CWT may think about expanding. Things are going so well.
They're doing well. I don't know
Right.
about expansion.
Well, when you live in the town, you hear those rumors. So,
Because you've got the other, who's the other, excuse me, in the IDA park, who's the other, is it a hatchery?
There is a hatchery in
Do
the,
they have to be so many miles apart?
that is a preference with the hatcheries. They've asked that we maintain a 3-mile buffer zone, even though those two hatcheries are not 3 miles apart. They've requested that if we bring in any new hatcheries, including if it were to be one of their own, to keep those 3 miles apart because of the airborne, avian diseases that you potentially could run into.
Okay, answer my question. I was curious.
Manufacturing, marketing, do whichever order you prefer.
Yeah, Robin, do you have anything you'd like to comment on with manufacturing?
Just that the manufacturing day went really well. It was a good success. We had a lot of manufacturers here, and then again, hearing reports from the students, they thought it was pretty cool. We've changed our focus a little bit to be more of the 9th, 10th, 11th graders, you know, and we encouraged our manufacturers not only talk about your processes, but talk about workforce. And, you know, what are some of the jobs, you know, some you might need a college degree, some you won't. And they talked about that, so it went really, really well.
Participation, how many kids?
Because we changed it up a little bit, Loudville usually sends like 90 to 100 kids, and they didn't participate. So we were down in numbers. I think it was around 500, but so we're down in numbers. We're also doing a little change in, we're pushing, I've talked with BOCES, and we're pushing it in the summertime to the guidance counselors to get on the calendars a little earlier. And so I think we're gonna, well, it'll probably, I'm hoping, anticipating participation be more next year.
Next year, it's gonna be good.
But
Yeah.
still 500.
It's
It's
not
still
bad.
500.
We've got
Absolutely.
most of the schools are participating.
Phenomenal.
Yeah, as long as the schools themselves are in the game, the number of the kids that they send for, you know, whatever reason, could fluctuate. Getting those schools participating is really the critical thing.
Yeah, Jefferson Concrete was pretty cool. He was talking how he had a BOCES intern and interning there. And then when the school was over, he said, well, if you ever have a job open, I would like to come back and work here. And 2 months later, they happened to have a job open and called him and they hired him. You know, so there was some good successes there. And that's what we like to hear.
One other thing, I just want to talk a little bit about manufacturing. I had a great meeting yesterday afternoon with the folks up at Metalcraft, and they are going like gangbusters. Extremely excited about the future, excited about their building, despite there's some challenges there, and also how competitive it has gotten for welders in the corporate park. There's another business that is doing great, that has really been upping the wages, and Metalcraft is excited to compete, which means good things for their employees. So I just kind of wanted to mention that about how well the meeting went, and their positive feelings for the future. So wanted to mention that. On the marketing side, does anybody have any questions about that?
Aren't they aluminum welders?
They are aluminum welders.
Completely.
They sort of describe it as if they've ever done any welding, they can train them and they'll be experts in a very short time.
But also it is completely different
Than regular welding. Yeah, there's another
Ferrous
step
metals.
involved. I think it's the gases that are used as well.
ferrous and non-ferrous are different than aluminum.
Yeah, you would be the expert on that. Absolutely.
Not really.
So I just wanted to mention that one thing that Metalcraft and some of the other manufacturers, they also had expressed interest about looking into a foreign trade zone, which we have another business in the park that's looking into that is taking a exceedingly long time. I'm not an expert in foreign trade zones, so I'm relying on ESD for some guidance there. And a foreign trade zone is actually a federal thing, and the people in the feds that are in charge of that are not working right now. So that is sort of added to it. But
Well, they weren't working 6 months ago when.
and they weren't working yet when it started either. True.
Don't couch it as
I
government
wish I
shutdown.
could. I wish I
Please.
could. Yeah.
This is
Well-
government workers not doing their job.
Yeah, but that does beg, for me, it begs the question, in our other park, that is incorporated. Sites can be allocated.
You still gotta get
foreign
approval
trade
from the
zone.
government.
Right, right. So coming over to Lundy's site, in that site, is there any qualifications there for
In
foreign
the ag
trade zone?
park?
Yeah.
What site does Lundy own? Isn't it ours?
No,
No,
in the ag
I'm
park.
Ag
talking
park's theirs.
on Arsenal Street.
Okay. I'm just trying to figure out, like, why would we?
So our area is a designated foreign trade zone area.
Right.
And then I know that the corporate park in itself is a designated spot. I don't know for sure if that extends to the county, if it's, where those boundaries sort of end. I'm sort of under the impression that it's just the corporate parcels are designated FTZ, but again, that's not an area of expertise for me, and it's something that we do so rarely here. We have had, I believe, in the past 2 foreign trade zones. Yeah, working through that,
We've
it's
got 2
possible.
companies right now. You look at the hatchery. I mean, the reason they're here is because of proximity to Canada.
Yep.
And now Metalcraft,
Mhm.
proximity to Canada.
Yep.
You know, they're a Canadian company.
Yes, they are, and the way that they're describing it to me, it seems like this could be a really good thing for them, because there's one specific part regarding the propulsion of the boats that they have to pay a very high tariff on, and they have to sort of adjust the way they do to sort of not to get around it per se, but to follow the law. And if they are able to do that, that would save them a lot of headaches, actually. So it's a good thing.
Can you explain the relationship between Stanley and Metalcraft? Are they a subsidiary of each other? Are they competitors? Are they back in Canada, are they under one umbrella there?
It's my understanding that they are owned by the same umbrella corporation. Beyond that, I have no idea exactly how that goes.
Do you have any contact with Dave Zimbeck?
I do.
Dave could give you Dave was the one that did a lot of work on that.
We've
back
talked
when.
about it a million times.
Okay.
Yeah. He's been guiding me through this. Yeah. I lean on Dave a lot. Honestly, he's obviously well invested in our activities.
It's nice to hear he's still on the wings.
I leverage that all the time. Good. Dave, you got 5 minutes? Yep. Perfect. So, yes. On the marketing side, just want to touch base quickly. We had a meeting down in Syracuse. We did a Micron tour that was very interesting. It was absolutely pouring rain. But we were able to see the site itself, which is enormous, and rivaled only by the substation next to it. I want to thank the Onondaga IDA, specifically Nate, who kind of did the tour. We were able to meet with Bob Petrovich, their CEO. Bill and Ryan were at the meeting as well, and as well as Ryan McMahon. And it was a great positive meeting. We talked about a site selecting event coming up in the spring, which it looks like we're probably going to attend. And it was an interesting, great meeting. And Onondaga County is supportive of Jefferson County's efforts. So we're moving forward. It's good stuff.
Where are they with the water line? Have they awarded bids for that? Yeah.
I don't know if they've awarded bids. Honestly, the real, eye opener there was that substation, and it has practically unlimited power, which was something that, as someone who's we're kicking and scratching for 4 megawatts, to hear them say that they have unlimited power there is it's quite a thing, and you can see why Micron decided on that site. I mean, it's coming directly off that plant in Oswego, and those are big towers, and that's a lot of power. Beautiful thing.
And it's all renewable energy, nuclear, right?
Yeah.
Always has been, just
Yeah.
bad publicity before.
Times change. Page 2022 for ARPA, unless there's any other questions on this.
You'll see that we had some activity this month with the Hounsfield Sewer. We made some payments for that. We had a meeting with JCC and CAPC, and I've got a couple bills in from the CAPC. So you'll see on round 1 some of that childcare. There's only 8,000 left in the childcare, so that stuff will be going very, very, very soon. And round 2, we're working at getting stuff done. I've had a lot of activity. So you'll see some more of that, especially in the agricultural side. Jay's working at bringing those numbers down. So, I'm really, really confident that we'll have this money dispersed throughout the county.
Good. Any questions on the report? Justin, normally you have no business in this meeting? Do you have any business to present under council?
No report today.
Okay, all right. A minor thing that probably could have gone under marketing, new business. I printed this off, so there's an RFI that's released today for, 1 gigawatt of nuclear energy in upstate New York. I actually spoke with Assemblyman Gray about this a week and a half ago. I'm not sure if upstate New York was well defined, but it definitely includes us. I don't know how far downstate upstate goes. Let's say it that way.
Basically all the way.
To Westchester County probably, or Rockland anyway. But anyway, so we're included in this. There's obviously a strong preference to get something near Fort Drum. Hopefully, our assembly man is pushing for that. A segue into that also is on the 11th at JCC, there's Nuclear 101. You can look at Assemblyman Gray's LinkedIn page or website or to see more details about that on the 12th at Clarkson. I forget where it is, maybe Old Main, but anyway, all the details are there. So one's in Watertown, one's in Potsdam, 11th and 12th. It's called Nuclear 101, and I think there's just all the way from what is nuclear to how's it best cited. So it's introspective for the public. I think he has a panel of experts in attendance, and
We're putting the advertisement for that for the JCC in our newsletter, which our newsletter will go out next week, so you guys be able to register using that.
Okay.
As well, there's for this New York Power Authority, the RFI initial webinar is today after this meeting. And
it's at 10 a.m.
Yes, looking forward to that. And Assemblyman Gray he's pushing this hard. We're going to be well positioned.
Yeah, I actually misspoke. The RFI, it just says the webinars today. I was thinking the RFI was released today, so.
They're discussing the RFI.
Yeah, they're discussing the RFI. But, as far as securing the need for our military base and businesses and everything, a gigawatt of energy is by far a game changer. We can talk about all these little 100 megawatt projects, which are meaningful and purposeful, but nonstop 24/7, 1 gigawatt is something that we could really discuss and be proud of.
To be clear, it's the 1 gigawatt across the state.
Across the state. I mean, these small reactors are 200-ish megawatt, 110, but they also produce almost 98% of what their nameplate is versus the diluted amount of the sunshine and the wind blow today. So, I mean, again, not to disparage any.
16% for solar.
Yeah, to not disparage any type of generation technology, but you said it's renewable, Ed. We can say that today.
But
it's
and not
carbon
be
neutral.
tarred and feathered.
But to my understanding, there's only one of the new prototype generation nuclear, and it's in Virginia?
I think so.
Yeah. And I think we Jefferson County, may be poised for number 2 when you look at what's going on with transmission, with Fort Drum's priorities, and with the Clarkson and the whole RIT technology. It's like it's a perfect fit.
Yeah, it really is.
Well, we got a site to ferry it that's purpose all ready to have them dig holes and take all the dirty soil away and put a reactor below grade.
Not to question you, but are you sure on those dates? Because I've got the 12th, 13th.
It's the 12th.
Is it? Okay, no, I'm not sure. I wrote 11th and 12th.
I think it's next
So
Wednesday.
sorry.
You need a calendar?
So-
I can't remember all these dates.
So consultant expert, don't listen to me. But at least I was right, there was an event coming up.
Yes.
I did
And
remember
then
that one.
in November.
Yeah, I got the right one.
You did good.
That's a start.
Yeah.
Any other new business? Let's ask for an adjournment.
Yes.
Second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
No one should oppose? Okay, we stand adjourned.
See everybody later.
Thank
Bye.
you.
That's the federal.
Let's move to our IDA meeting.
That's budgeted.
Any privilege of the floor.
That is some of the money coming in.
So minutes are
I
on
think
page
that's
3.
intended to be ARPA money
They've been
coming in.
received and reviewed.
And that is what would have gone out.
Second.
Any discussion on the minutes?
That's the best I can
All
tell
in
you.
favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstaining?
It's an in and out, you'll see that's the same
Motion
amount.
carries. Treasurer's report, page 6, Paul.
Me already?
I was distracting him, sorry.
Well, Robin brought it up. You'll see under the revenues and expenses, the big payment out to the town of Hounsfield for their sewer project. Same thing, once again, the pilot sale leaseback. There been any word, Marshall, from the Hounsfield project if they're going to close?
I have no additional word, no.
Okay. You also, if you go to the comparative balance sheet, you'll see the loan in for the IDA changes those numbers dramatically for our total current assets. I think that was loan at 3 or 5%. I forget the exact number. So the balance sheet based on everything looks normal, but I had some comments if we get over to our outstanding loans. We know Convault, LCO Destiny. Dorina, I'd love to see, this is the principal, that amount hasn't changed in months. It'd be nice if we could see, let's say, at the end of the year, what the payoff would be with that, because this includes none of the default interest or any of that. What is the amount we're going to need to be looking at to get an idea? It would be nice if we could calculate that for LCO Destiny.
LCO Destiny.
Because we've seen 207 in that.
Yeah, this has come up more than once about showing the real number.
So it'd be nice to see that. And 3 Mile Bay Ventures, have we heard any more?
Yes, we've stayed in touch with KC, and he's stayed in touch with us, and he has some interesting things going on out there, and we're hoping for a somewhat near-term resolution to that in its entirety.
Okay.
You going down to that event?
Yeah.
Was it Secretary Brew Pub? They were looking at redoing their loan, but never came back to us, so everything's status quo.
Everything's status
Okay,
quo. Yeah.
so no
And
change.
it's just fine.
There's no problem. It's
Yep.
just that it was a
At
false
one point-
start to go to the.
They wanted
loan
us to
review, and it
release
just never
our-
got there.
They wanted us to release our lien off one of the assets.
There were some
Secure it.
modifications that were
So-
suggested and never discussed. So, no
Colleen's
change.
Cherry Tree, have we been in touch with them? They're 4 months out.
Yeah, they paid a payment last month and, we've been reaching out and now this is their slow time, so
Mhm.
we'll see if they send us payments.
Okay. It's nice to see Painful Acres is staying up on there.
And they persist.
So,
Well, but all of those accounts are, when you look at the year, we're coming up to the end of the year, there's been periods where they're in default, but still at the end of the year, we're further ahead down the road,
Right.
collecting.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's still
I'm not
going.
suggesting anything other than, when they're 4 months out, that's about the time frame. That's been the most they've been out, I think, since I've been treasurer.
Yeah.
It's usually 2 to 3 months, so I didn't know if there was anything else going on. Other than that, unless there's a specific question,
I have the same question on the ARPA. It looks like the revenue is 30-ish thousand. And it could be just a timing issue. Grant income ARPA, we booked 430 revenue, but spent 553. And it seems like that should also be zero.
Those financials are Lyle's, so I
Okay,
can't.
I just
can't-
like, it's probably been this way for 6 months and I've never
Never
noticed
know,
it before.
Sure.
Yeah.
It can be a challenge right away.
I figured we needed,
No
you
worries.
to have some homework assignments.
All right.
Is 3 Mile Bay Ventures, as far as their potential game plan, is it with the idea of taking us out?
That is what we're talking about.
didn't we do some modifications to either interest only or?
Yes.
And that was for term specific,
Yes.
and that ends when?
I'm not sure. I think it's,
That's why I asked the question.
I want to say
think we're-
February, but I'm not.
I think we're coming up on the end of our last agreement to change the terms. So,
Not assuming this.
and then they had their plan for the capital raise to do their thing. So that's why I asked the question. Now we're getting close to the end of that term.
We didn't, do we have a motion to accept the report? We can keep talking, but motion to accept the treasurer's report?
So moved.
Second.
A second, okay, we can keep discussing now, and then we'll take a.
Did they, I don't know if I can't remember if it was out in the news that they're doing a hotel there instead? They cut down on the cottages. I think they're going from like 60 to 30.
You're talking about 3 Mile Bay?
Yes.
Right.
Yes, I'd rather not comment on any specifics, but that is essentially what they're planning on doing, an expansion of some type at the property and sort of refinancing the project.
Right, yeah, they were on the planning board agenda. So that's where we saw, I could see the changes,
Yeah.
so.
It sounds like a great project
Yep,
for our tourism
and they're
infrastructure.
supposed to be adding a restaurant too.
Yeah. Fingers crossed.
If there's no other discussion, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstained? The treasurer's report is accepted.
Craig Fox texted me, it was in the paper.
Do we have anything under
There wasn't.
alternative energy or building and grounds? Like you first, Paul? Alternative
Well,
energy?
John and I kind of tag team. We had a meeting or a quick meeting with a consultant that was hired by the town of Lyme. I believe it was town of Lyme, or was it by?
Town line, yeah, attorney.
Yeah.
It's handling that.
Can't talk about a lot of it because of some of the confidentialities, and there's a couple of things I'd like to ask opinions of. If we have an executive session, I think we need to ask some questions of Justin.
Okay.
It would be changing how we look at doing incentive packages in the ways of tax abatement, how we handle it to get around some of the things we see coming with the valuation model and NIPA's involvement, trying to get these to the point where they're in the best interest of the taxing jurisdictions.
Okay.
Anything else, John?
Nope, that's it.
It was a very good meeting, very knowledgeable.
I was gonna go through the open session, and there are a couple things, if the board desires, we should discuss in executive session, but there's some things we can say in public. I wanted to give some updates.
I think we need to get an opinion from Justin.
Okay.
So I think we need
Yeah,
to.
and that's fine, so we'll
I
get
agree.
through, any other unfinished business and new business in the public, and then we can go to executive session under council and adjourn and then move on to the other things. Anything else under,
Are you seeing, shouldn't there be some kind of urgency coming with this end of the year closing for the tax credits? For those, getting those projects, finalized?
I don't think he expects any of these projects to close by the end of this year.
Yeah.
Because of while they've been issued a permit, that's the first permit. Then they got to actually do the actual design documents and submit those for further review. None of these projects are going to be in a position to close by the end of the year.
Right, but still, as far as them getting their permits.
I guess I can't answer. I don't know what they need to do to lock in the tax credits or.
I think there were two things, permit and some substantive, not design work, like real field work, but in the past, it's been like, give a PO for a couple things and nothing shows up for years. Those loopholes, I believe, have been closed. But I do think it speaks to how advanced the projects really were and how important tax incentives really are. That's my opinion as an individual.
No, that's why I
But,
said.
because if there was free money on the table, I'd be rushing to go grab it, and I don't see a lot of people
The
rushing to
only way
grab
those
it.
projects are gonna get built out. Is if they can
Yeah,
hang
well,
on to those
it's-
credits.
And you know what, in 2 years, maybe there'll be a different.
Justin, are you seeing across the state any rush to get in these under that Jan 1 deadline?
Yeah, there's a few larger ones that are trying to preserve their queue for the credits. And as you mentioned already, the owners are placing large equipment orders that have lead time and doing some preliminary grubbing work, tree work, landscaping, preliminary site clearance, but nothing substantial in terms of permit work or capital improvement. It's just really a tax credit preservation move that allows them to spend a little capital now and preserve the ability to get credits.
Okay,
Thank you.
A couple quick updates I think I can make in the public, and then the rest really Justin can update us in executive session. It does involve two defaults, but what I can say in the public is we had a very good discussion with LCO Destiny. There's a very earnest and sincere attempt to get this thing closed as quickly as we can. We assured that the building is still insured properly. So we went through everything to make sure that we have the right type of protection that we believed we did. We do. We also went through and explored a couple alternatives to try to discover if there was a way to sell some of the assets within the building, equipment, trucks, forklifts, things of that nature, to find a way to take our loan out and our co-lender. There was maybe about enough for that, but there's a bigger standing in second position that I think prevents us from maybe even exploring that option further.
Yes.
So at this point, we can talk more in executive session about timing and everything else. The other one, we had a discussion, it's just you, Dave, and Justin, right?
Yes.
Okay, so our counsel and our special counsel helping us with Convol and Marshall and I, we had a discussion going through the Convol Energy default and exploring multiple methods to really secure a rapid payment on that. And there was, I think initially there was a down payment and then a future payment, and we can segue into what we need to actually vote on here in a minute, because you have that that thing. So what we discovered was the equipment, the high value equipment, the robots and everything, may be worth more than we ever imagined, but we're not certain. We're hoping. So we, Marshall dug up the original person who developed the opinion. So it's not an official assessment. He's an engineer. Is that a fair
Yes.
assessment?
Yep.
So he's an engineer specializing in robots and all of this equipment. We reached out to him and said, could you give us an updated appraisal is the right
Yeah,
term?
I would know.
Opinion.
He said
Opinion.
value estimate.
Yeah, value estimate. So he
Updated this document.
he's sent us a document. He believes he can do this in 2 hours. His rate is $500 an hour, so we're gonna look for the board to actually publicly vote to spend $1,000, maybe we can say not to exceed $1,500 to get a value estimate, because I think at this point, we know how much is owed to us. We believe the equipment could be in upwards of $2 million. We've been all batting around numbers
Yeah.
like 700, 500, we don't know.
I hesitate to say, but this document, as of 2021, showed a replacement value of $30 million on that equipment with a residual value range of $7 million to $13 million. It's not even close to that. However, it's not. It shows where we started in 2021 with the collateral piece. So,
And the reason for this, we can discuss more in executive session, but we really need to understand what the personal guarantee value is and what the equipment value is, and look at that and give our counsel as much flexibility to modify the repayment terms. And that'll have to be discussed in executive session.
So you're looking for a motion to?
Well, and I think I'm done. Did I miss anything
No.
in these two discussions?
Nope.
So we're asking the board to consider, I would say not to exceed 1,500 to be safe.
I would move that we.
Get a value estimate.
Up to 1,500.
Okay,
Then I have a quick question.
go ahead.
So we're using a guy that 4 years ago said it was worth $6 to $13 million, and now he's saying it's worth $2?
no,
That's me saying that.
That's
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
We are not. He has not given us any sort of potential changes or
Okay.
update on these values.
So
I
once
think
we
that's
get
a
that,
smart thing to do because you've explained to me what you're going to explain in executive session, so I understand what our end goal here is.
Mhm.
So I'm happy to make that motion.
So the motion and the second are, we'll spend up to $1,500. We believe it's gonna cost us $1,000, cost $1,100, whatever. We're gonna get an updated value estimate, and then it really gives our council and this board facts to understand where we're secured on this defaulted loan.
So is this somebody is he gonna come and actually look at the equipment or?
He's just
He's gonna
update it
update this document,
Okay.
based on 4 years later. It's sort of like, the equipment is, obviously the software's been updated. I mean, our cell phones update like every 3 months, so like, but the equipment's the equipment. And he did tell you that basically the equipment's the equipment and you can just dump new software in it. That's what gives it its value.
potentially. Like, so what he's gonna say is if it's in the same condition that it was in
Okay.
then, what the value is.
Okay.
Now, if the reason why I believe we want to know this information is because if there's been a precipitous drop, and where, let's say that the residual value has gone from 7 million to $500,000, then that would alter our thinking on moving forward, because if we go from moving forward with the legal thing, and we have to get an appraisal, but if he comes back and he says, it's only worth X or a negative value potentially, then we know that our collateral is not what it's at, and that could change our thinking on the moving forward piece.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay, and we'll pepper
Sorry,
Justin with
so-
some questions in
Captain
executive
Obvious on
session.
that.
So we have first, second, any other questions? We'll take a vote. Okay, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Peggy, do I need to do a roll call for this small value or?
I don't think so.
Okay, I just wanted to be sure. I didn't think so either, but I don't want to break rules. Any opposed or abstain? Okay, the motion carries up to $1,500. Please engage. Is it Dr. Shea?
Dr. Shea.
Yeah, Dr. Shea. Okay. So with that, we've gone through the open session. If the board desires to go to an executive session to learn more about the 2 defaulted loans and whatever questions you had, we can do that.
I would move that we go to executive session to discuss our 2 defaulted loans and to seek advice of counsel.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Everyone can stay except the
Anyone can
public,
stay.
right? You can't stay, Brian. Turn your camera off. And,
Craig, I'm gonna put you in the waiting room, okay, Craig?
I didn't vote yet.
Oh, sorry.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed or abstained? Okay, so, Mr. Fox, and I think that was Lexi.
Lexi.
Yeah. And Lexi knows enough, and I don't know who's, and the camera is off, correct?
Recording.
She took it with her. She took it
Oh,
with
she
her.
did? It
Yeah,
looks like
this
it's
is
over
just
there.
the tripod.
Wow, that's like a
Jay, does this,
pretty massive.
I'm sorry, does this stop the AI companion?
Yeah, I think so.
Yes,
But it says it's still flashing.
it says recording paused.
I know, but does this flash?
Click on that. Just click on it. Can you pause it? What's
Stop
it
at
red?
the very bottom.
Right at the bottom.
Just say stop.
I'm thinking about the deleting them, okay.
There you go.
We could do the old fashioned way before you had.
Yeah, I know, the meeting assets are really hard.
They are, yeah.
Paul, why don't you start with a couple questions that are
The
unrelated?
questions I had is in this meeting with Ben.
Oh,
There's the-
hold on one second, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Live streaming.